It was raining again, hard, relentless, the kind of downpour that blurred city lights into trembling rivers on the windshield. Maya gripped her cracked umbrella tighter, shielding her sleepy 5-year-old son, Liam, as they waited outside the hospital's emergency exit. Her shoes were soaked, her jacket thin, her spirit thinner. She had just finished her double shift as a night cleaner, 10 hours on her feet for barely enough to cover rent and daycare. She checked her phone again. The Uber she ordered was late. Of course, everything lately was late, her paycheck, her luck, her dreams. Then, a sleek black car pulled up to the curb. Not the usual kind of Uber she got. This one gleamed under the streetlight like something out of another world. The back window rolled down, and a deep, calm voice called out. "Are you Maya?" She blinked, unsure. Yes. Uber for Maya." The man smiled faintly. "Yeah, hop in. You'll catch a cold out there." Maya hesitated, then bundled Liam into the backseat. The car smelled of leather and cedarwood. The man behind the wheel wore a dark coat and an expensive watch that glittered even in the dim light. "Definitely not your average Uber driver. Sorry if we're a bit wet," she said nervously, wiping Liam's shoes with a napkin. "No problem," he replied quietly. "Long day." She laughed tiredly. "You could say that. Cleaning offices all night isn't glamorous, but it pays the bills." "Mostly." He nodded, eyes meeting hers in the mirror for a moment. Something in his expression softened. When they arrived at her old apartment building, Maya fumbled for her phone. "How much was the fare again?" The man chuckled lightly. "Don't worry about it. I insist," she said. "I know what it's like to work for every dollar." He looked at her for a moment, then said, "You really do, don't you?" Before she could respond, he smiled politely. "Have a good night, Maya. Get some rest." She thanked him and hurried inside, never knowing that her life had just taken the strangest turn imaginable. The next morning, the sun barely crept through the thin curtains when Maya dropped Liam off at daycare and rushed to her new job. It was her first day as a cleaning staff member at Kingston Enterprises, a global tech company rumored to be owned by a billionaire no one ever saw in person. The pay was better, the building enormous, and the expectations sky high. She slipped on her uniform, tied her hair into a bun, and got to work. Every polished floor, every glass wall had to sparkle. Halfway through wiping down the conference room, she froze. There, walking through the doors surrounded by executives and assistants, was him. The Uber driver. Except now, he wasn't in casual clothes. He wore a tailored navy suit, crisp white shirt, and an air of quiet authority that made everyone straighten when he entered. The same calm eyes. The same soft-spoken tone. Maya's mop nearly slipped from her hands. He noticed her, too. Their eyes met for a fraction of a second. A flicker of recognition crossed his face, then he smiled subtly before turning back to the room. Maya's heart pounded. What just happened? The CEO who drove her home. It took only an hour before rumors began buzzing among the staff. The new CEO's name is Ethan Cross. He's young, insanely successful, but low-key. No one knows much about him. He's private, almost mysterious. Private or not, Ethan clearly recognized her. But why hadn't he said anything? Why'd pretend to be her driver? During lunch, Maya ate alone in the break room, scrolling through her cracked phone screen when a shadow fell over her. "Mind if I join you?" Her fork froze mid-air. It was him, Ethan Cross, the billionaire, the man who had given her a ride the night before. Her voice trembled. "Sir, Mr. Cross, I'm so sorry. I didn't know who you were, I thought." He raised a hand gently. "Relax, Maya, you don't need to apologize. I was actually the one who didn't clarify. My driver's car broke down last night. I was helping out." She laughed nervously. "So, you're not my Uber driver?" "Not exactly," he said, smiling. The awkwardness melted as he sat across from her. They spoke about her son, her late nights, the struggle of raising a child alone after her husband abandoned them. She tried to stay professional, but Ethan had a way of listening that made her feel seen, really seen, for the first time in years. When she finished, she apologized again for rambling. But Ethan just said quietly, "You work harder than most people in this building. You shouldn't have to apologize for surviving." Unlikely friendship. Days turned into weeks. Ethan would often find excuses to visit the cleaning staff break room or help her carry supplies she insisted she could handle herself. They talked about everything, books, dreams, the kind of childhoods they both came from. Despite his wealth, Ethan was grounded. He told her he grew up poor too, that his mother had worked 3 jobs after his father left. She used to say, he told her one evening, hard times make strong hearts. You remind me of her. But not everyone was happy with their growing friendship. Other employees whispered, why's the CEO talking to the janitor? She's probably after his money. He's going to ruin his image. Maya heard it all. It hurt, but she kept her head down. She needed this job. Liam needed stability. She couldn't risk losing everything because people misunderstood kindness. Still, rumors have a way of spreading faster than truth. The breaking point. One afternoon, while Maya was cleaning an upper floor, a supervisor cornered her. You've been seen talking too much with Mr. Cross. You think he's interested in you. Don't embarrass yourself. Know your place. Her face burned. She said nothing, but that night, she cried silently while Liam slept beside her. She decided she'd keep her distance from Ethan. He was her boss, not her friend. The next morning, she avoided him entirely. She skipped the break room, left early from lunch, and refused his small talk. Ethan noticed, of course. Finally, after 3 days, he found her cleaning the lobby alone. Maya, he said, gently blocking her path. Did I do something wrong? She swallowed hard. No, sir. I just realized I was overstepping. People talk. He frowned. Let them talk. You've done nothing wrong. I can't risk my job. You wouldn't understand. I understand more than you think, he said softly. But fine. If you need space, I'll respect it. His voice cracked just slightly at the end, and for a moment, she saw not a billionaire, but a lonely man behind all the power. When everything fell apart, 2 months later, Maya's world came crashing down again. Liam fell sick, badly. A severe asthma attack landed him in the hospital. The medical bills piled up overnight. Her savings were gone. She was drowning again, no matter how hard she tried. She begged Our for an advance. They refused. Company policy, they said. That evening, while sitting beside Liam's hospital bed, she got a call. A deep, familiar voice on the other end said, Maya, it's Ethan. I heard about Liam. I'm on my way. She tried to protest. No, please, don't. But he was already there 15 minutes later, carrying flowers, a small stuffed bear, and something she didn't expect, a folder. He sat beside her. I know you don't want charity. So don't think of it that way. You're one of the hardest working people I've met. And I want to offer you a promotion, assistant to the facilities manager. Better pay. Health benefits. Officially approved. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I don't know what to say. He smiled softly. Say yes. For Liam. A second chance. From that day forward, things changed. Maya moved into a better apartment closer to Liam's school. Her new position gave her stability and hope. Ethan continued visiting her and Liam occasionally, bringing books or helping with homework. The boy adored him. He called him Mr. Ethan, and always asked if he could come to his school plays. Over time, what began as gratitude slowly deepened into something unspoken. But both of them were cautious. They had scars, his from a life of loneliness disguised as success, hers from heartbreak and struggle. Until one night, after Liam's school performance, they found themselves walking in the quiet city park. Leaves rustled, and the air smelled of rain again, the same kind of night they first met. Maya looked up at him. You know, the night you picked me up, I was so embarrassed. I thought you were just being nice. I had no idea you were, you. Ethan chuckled. Maybe it's better that way. You didn't see a CEO, you saw a person. That's rare. She smiled, her eyes shining with tears. You changed my life, Ethan. He shook his head. No, Maya, you changed mine. You reminded me why I built all this, to make life better for people like my mom. Like you. He took her hand gently, and for the first time, neither of them pulled away. The inspiring message. Months later, Kingston Enterprises launched a new initiative, Hearts of Steel, a program offering scholarships and job opportunities to single parents. Maya stood proudly beside Ethan during the launch, now head of the program. She spoke in front of hundreds of employees and media cameras. When life knocks you down, she said, voice trembling but strong, don't let it convince you that you don't matter. Sometimes, kindness finds you when you least expect it, maybe even in the backseat of what you think is an Uber. The room erupted in applause. Ethan's gaze met hers across the stage, full of quiet pride. From a struggling single mom to a woman who rebuilt her life, Maya's journey became more than just survival. It became a story of grace, resilience, and second chances. And as the lights dimmed and applause echoed, Maya looked up and whispered to herself. Maybe miracles don't always wear wings. Sometimes, they wear suits and drive black cars on rainy nights. Moral of the story: never underestimate the power of kindness for yourself. Life has a way of turning pain into purpose when you least expect it.